Your dog doesn't just love you. Your dog chose you. And there is a difference, even if nobody has ever told you about it before tonight. Love is easy. Love is common. Feed a dog, keep it warm, speak to it kindly, and almost any dog on this planet will love you back. That's biology doing what biology does. But choosing you, out of every person it has ever smelled, met, or been handed to, deciding that you specifically are the one, that's something else entirely. That's a bond so specific that scientists actually had to give it its own name. They call it imprinting. Imprinting is the moment your dog stops seeing you as the person who fills the bowl and starts seeing you as its entire world. Its anchor, the one steady thing it comes back to no matter what happens around it. And here's what almost nobody realizes. Most dog owners go their whole lives loving their dog without ever knowing whether that love is being fully returned. They see the tail wag, the excitement at the door, and assume that's the whole story. It isn't. Tail wags are for everyone. Imprinting is for one person. So tonight, 6 signs. 6 specific, researched, sometimes surprising signs that tell you whether your dog has truly imprinted on you, or whether you're simply the nice person who happens to own the leash. The first few are behavioral, things you can watch for on any ordinary evening. The last few are things scientists can actually measure, in blood, in brain chemistry, in hormones released the instant your dog looks at you a certain way. And the very last sign isn't about affection at all. It's about instinct being overridden to protect the one person your dog has decided matters more than its own safety. By the time we get there, you'll understand why so many people say the same words about their dog. I didn't rescue him. He rescued me. Before we start, let's be clear about what imprinting is not. It is not the same as your dog being friendly, well-trained, or happy to see you at the door. Those things are lovely, but they're common. Imprinting goes deeper. It means your dog has quietly, without ever telling you in words, chosen you as its safe place in a confusing world. If you've ever lain awake wondering whether your dog actually feels that way about you, or whether you're just the convenient one, stay with me. You are about to get your answer, sign by sign. Sign 1. Your dog chooses to sleep touching you. Let's start with something almost every dog owner has experienced but very few have actually thought about. Your dog climbs onto the bed, or the couch, or the corner of the rug you're sitting on, and instead of stretching out a comfortable distance away, it presses its body against yours. A paw on your leg, a spine against your side, a chin resting directly on your ankle. You might assume this is simply about warmth or a soft mattress. It isn't. It goes so much deeper than comfort. Think about what sleep actually means for a dog, biologically speaking. In the wild, sleep is the single most dangerous state an animal can be in. A sleeping dog cannot run, cannot fight, cannot see a threat coming or react in time. Wild canines sleep in tight groups, pressed against the individuals they trust most, because there is safety in proximity. When your dog chooses, night after night, to fall unconscious pressed against your body, it is saying, in the only language it has, of everyone in my world, you are the one I trust enough to be helpless next to. There's a second layer here too. Scent. Your smell is one of the most calming forces in your dog's entire sensory world. Being wrapped in it all night is, to your dog's nervous system, something close to being held even while it dreams. That's why so many dogs seek out a worn t-shirt or an old pillow when their owner travels. The scent alone can lower a stressed dog's heart rate. Now watch for the clearest version of this sign. If your dog ever rolls fully onto its back while sleeping beside you, belly exposed, legs loose in the air, throat completely bare, pay attention. That position is the single most defenseless a dog can physically be. No dog does that around someone it doesn't fully trust, and that kind of surrender is earned slowly, through hundreds of ordinary nights where nothing bad ever happened. Some of you have been told that letting a dog sleep in your bed is a mistake, that it will make the dog clingy or spoiled. I want to gently set that down. For most dogs, sharing your sleeping space doesn't create a needy animal. It creates a secure one, calmer during the day because it knows exactly where its person is through the night. And here's the quiet irony so many owners eventually notice. The same people who insist you shouldn't let a dog on the bed are often the very ones who ask, years later, how you ever built such a close bond with your dog. This is how. You are a pack, and at night, the pack sleeps together. Sign 2, your dog begins to mirror you. The second sign is stranger, and honestly, once you notice it, it's almost funny. Your dog starts to become you. Not literally, but in every way that matters behaviorally behaviorally and emotionally. It begins reflecting the person you actually are, not the person you pretend to be around strangers. Researchers have spent years studying this, and the findings are consistent. Dogs genuinely absorb their owners' habits, energy levels, and even emotional patterns over time. A couch potato owner tends to raise a couch potato dog. An early riser out the door for a run before sunrise usually finds their dog already waiting, alert, at the door, but this goes beyond daily habits. It reaches into your emotional temperature. Studies on long-term owner-dog pairs have found that anxious owners often raise dogs that carry that same nervous energy, while calm, steady owners raise dogs that soak up that same grounded stability. Picture your dog as an emotional sponge, quietly absorbing whatever you put into a room, day after day, without either of you deciding it should happen. Why does this happen so specifically with imprinted dogs? Because your dog is always watching you, not glancing, watching. Studying your face, your voice, the tension in your shoulders, more closely than any human in your life ever has. Slowly, without either of you consciously choosing it, your dog becomes a living reflection of you. That kind of continuous attunement isn't something a dog offers to just anyone. It's reserved for the one it has bonded to most deeply. So the next time you catch your dog yawning right after you yawn, or going still and worried on a day when your own chest feels heavy for reasons you haven't said out loud, understand what you're witnessing. Your dog isn't simply mimicking you. It's carrying a piece of your inner weather alongside its own. Which means when you're calm, you're handing your dog one of the greatest gifts you can give it. Your peace quietly becomes its peace too. Sign 3. Your dog listens to you, and only fully to you. The third sign tends to start small, good-natured arguments in a household. You say a single word, one command your dog has heard 1,000 times, and it responds instantly. Then someone else in the house says the exact same word, same tone, and your dog just blinks at them, or wanders off entirely. This is not stubbornness, and it is not random chance. Research into canine social cognition shows dogs are remarkably good at reading human social structure. They can tell the difference between the people who share their home and the role each one occupies. When your dog listens to you above everyone else, it's telling you, in the clearest way it can, that it sees you as its primary person. The one voice in the house that actually carries weight. And here's the part one want you to hear, because so many owners quietly doubt it, worried it's simply because they're the one who fills the bowl. It isn't. This selective trust is built from every consistent moment you've shared, not just meals, your tone when frustrated but still patient, the routines built without even trying. Your dog learned, slowly, that your word can be trusted completely. And trust, once again, is the real engine behind every one of these signs. This sign causes genuine debate in families, because everyone is often secretly convinced they're the favorite. Some try to settle it by standing at opposite corners of a room and calling the dog to see who it runs to first. Fun to try, but it doesn't actually measure love. A dog might simply run to whoever's holding a treat, or standing in better light. Choosing its person is quieter than a foot race across the living room. It shows in who the dog checks on unasked, whose voice cuts through the noise, and who it looks toward the instant something frightening happens. If that's consistently you, you already have your answer. So far, every sign we've covered has been visible, things you can watch on an ordinary day. The next 3 are different. These are the ones science can actually measure, in the bloodstream, in the brain itself. And the last one is the reason some people are alive right now, reading this. Stay with me. Sign 4. Your dog knows you're upset before you've said a word. You felt this one, even if you never quite put language to it. You come home after a genuinely hard day, one you haven't said anything about to anyone yet, and somehow your dog is already there, pressed against your leg, head heavy on your knee before you've even sat down. This is not coincidence, and it is not your imagination. Research has repeatedly shown dogs are extraordinarily skilled at reading human faces, body language, and even subtle shifts in how we smell. When you're stressed or grieving, your body releases measurably more cortisol, and your dog can detect that chemical shift through scent alone. It reads the slump in your shoulders, the change in your voice, the way you go quiet in a room where you'd normally be talking. When your dog comes to comfort you completely unprompted, that's one of the purest signs of imprinting there is. Sometimes it presses its full weight into you, as if trying to absorb what you're carrying. Sometimes it brings its favorite toy, the one thing it treasures most, and drops it in your lap. In its understanding, that's the best gift it has to give someone who is hurting. I've heard from countless people who say their dog was the only one who noticed they were falling apart, when the humans around them were too busy or distracted to see it. One woman who lived for years with a serious illness said her dog was simply her whole world, the one constant that never once looked away. When the humans in your life miss the signs, your dog almost never does. It feels your sadness as though it were its own, because to your dog, in a real sense, it is. You'll notice this same attunement in smaller moments too, the way your dog keeps glancing back back at you mid-walk, the way it trails you room to room, settling wherever you settle. In an unfamiliar place, watch how it keeps returning to your side, using you as its one fixed point in a world it doesn't fully understand yet. That's not clinginess or weakness. In the wild, dogs survive by staying close to their pack and reading it for cues about safety. When your dog keeps coming back to you, it's telling you something simple and profound. You are its safe place. The one it looks to when it needs to know everything is going to be okay. Sign 5. Your dog holds your gaze. Before the final sign, one quick note: it isn't just another item on the list. It's a dog going against its deepest survival instinct, and in some documented cases, choosing to save a human life in the process. But first, sign 5, which comes with a real, measurable scientific fingerprint. Sign 5 is the look, the moment your dog gazes softly into your eyes and simply holds it there, calm and unhurried. Here's why that matters more than most people realize. Among dogs, staring directly into another animal's eyes is not affectionate. It's a threat, a direct challenge. Every instinct tells a dog to look away from prolonged eye contact. So when your dog looks straight into your eyes and holds that gaze anyway, calmly, it is overriding millions of years of instinct to do it. Something remarkable happens in that moment, something researchers have actually captured in a lab. A study published in the journal Science found that when a dog and its owner hold each other's gaze, both of their brains release oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that floods a mother and her newborn in those first hours. Let that sink in. This isn't you romanticizing a pet. It's measurable, present in the bloodstream of both of you. Your dog only offers that sustained gaze to the one human it feels completely safe with. If your dog seeks out your eyes and holds them, that's not a stare. That's your dog saying, "I love you," in the oldest language there is. Sign 6. Your dog puts you above its own instincts and its own safety. Which brings us to the sixth and last sign, the one that truly separates a dog that loves you from a dog that has fully chosen you. This sign isn't about affection anymore. It's about your dog placing you above its own instincts, its own safety, and deciding that you are the one it exists to protect. At 1:30 in the morning, a woman was sound asleep when her dog began pawing frantically at her chest, refusing to stop despite her half-conscious attempts to settle it. Assuming the dog was simply being difficult, she almost ignored it. But it wouldn't back down, and the urgency eventually cut through her grogginess enough that she sat up and checked on herself. Her blood sugar had crashed to a dangerously low, life-threatening level. Her dog had smelled the change before she had any conscious awareness of it, and woke her up in time. Stories like this aren't rare fairy tales. There are documented cases of dogs detecting cancer long before any doctor caught it, nudging and sniffing at the same spot until the person got it checked. There are dogs that wake sleeping owners the instant a heart rhythm shifts dangerously, sensing what no monitor caught. And the people who live through it describe it in almost identical words: "My dog saved my life. I'm the lucky one, he picked me." Because that's what it comes down to. Out of the entire world, your dog looked at you specifically and decided that keeping you safe was its job. That is the deepest, most complete form of imprinting there is, and it can't be faked or trained into existence. It has to be earned. So let's come back to where we started. Your dog doesn't just love you. Your dog chose you. Think back over every sign we've walked through, the way it sleeps pressed against you, choosing vulnerability over safety, the way it's slowly become a quiet reflection of your moods, the way it listens for your voice above every other voice in the house, the way it feels your sadness before you've said a word, the way it holds your gaze, flooding both your bodies with the same hormone that bonds a mother to her child, and the way it stands guard over your very life when it matters most. They all point to the same quiet truth: this bond runs in both directions, and always has. Many owners quietly carry a small, private doubt they never say out loud, wondering if they're loving a creature that merely tolerates them, wondering if a dog is even capable of feeling the way they feel. Let me say this plainly: no, you are not imagining it. The love you feel for your dog is real, and it's being returned in full, measured now not only in feeling but in cortisol, in oxytocin, in 1,000 years of a species that evolved, generation after generation, to stand beside us. There's a phrase people say again and again when they talk honestly about this bond: "I saved her, and she saved me." That, in the end, is what imprinting really is. You gave your dog a home, a safe place, a person to belong to. And somewhere along the way, without either of you noticing the exact moment it happened, your dog quietly gave every bit of that right back to you. If your dog happens to be lying near you right now, take a second and look over at it. That whole heart chose you, out of the entire world it could have belonged to.